really want to crochet myself another Wave Hello top, so this is the vlog for that. And if you don't know what the Wave Hello top is, I will put up a picture here so you can see it in all of its glory. But when I made this, it was probably one of my first like summer projects that I ever did, and the piece was actually inspired by Alexis from Schitt's Creek. And I was watching Schitt's Creek for the first time, and she was wearing this really beautiful dress, and it basically had the neckline of the Wave Hello top. It kind of went in at a point, it was square at the top, it had these little ruffles around the side, but the best thing about it is that it wasn't a halter neck. And for me personally, I have big tits. Halter necks hurt my neck, they hurt my back. There's not enough support to carry these guys, okay? And if you've got big tits, you could probably relate. I always love the way a halter neck looks on me. I just don't like what it does to my body. So when I saw that piece, I was like, oh, this kind of looks like a faux halter neck, and I want to make my own. So I did exactly that. I made a cute little wavy crop top with the ruffles, with the faux halter neck, with a solid bag, and it turned out really, really cute. My pattern testers also did an amazing job on all of theirs, and I really want to create another one. Also, hello, if you don't know me, my name is Rajan, aka Not a Half Bad Crochet, and if you enjoy crochet content like vlogs, day in the lives, tutorials, then please consider subscribing to my channel. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like and leave me a comment to let me know what you think. So funnily enough, the Wave Hello top is probably my least popular pattern, and I don't think that's for like any particular reason. I think people do like it, but it's just I don't think a lot of people crochet or typically crochet in the summertime, and that's okay. I get it, I totally get it. And I think also when it comes to a wavy top or a top that involves color coordination or creating a color palette, it can often be quite intimidating for people, which is why I think a lot of people don't gravitate towards it, which is okay, that's totally fine. But I really want to kind of like showcase this pattern a little bit more, showcase how creative you can be with it, all of the edits, the adaptations you can make, how it looks with different types of yarn and different color palettes and stuff. And honestly, I just want to talk about the Wave Hello top because I think it's really fun and it's really cool, and also because I want another one. I literally just want another one, and I have some perfect yarn for it because I basically have some leftover cotton yarn from a few of my more recent projects that I think will be enough for a Wave Hello top. I have maybe about 5 or 6 different colors, so I am gonna be curating a fun little color palette, and I'll kind of show you the process of like how I choose my colors and stuff as well. What I'm really excited for is that with all of the Wave Hello tops that I have seen from my pattern testers and anyone else who's made them, it's always been in a DK or an Aran weight yarn. So the fact that I'll be able to make it in a really nice fine weight yarn will just kind of showcase it in like a slightly different way. So if you've ever been eyeing up the pattern and you want to see what it looks like in a different type of yarn, this is going to be perfect for that. So yeah, let's go and have a look at the yarn choices. Okay, so these are the colors that I am working with. If you can hear my laptop about to take off in the background, apologies, I am exporting another video. So these are the colors that I have left over from old projects that I really want to utilize for a new Wave Hello top. I have I probably, you know, about the same amount of each color, apart from I think is it this one? Yeah, apart from this one where I have like considerably less. And yeah, these are the colors that I am working with, and I'm gonna try and come up with a nice color palette that I like and that I think I can implement easily into my wardrobe and that I will enjoy. So this purple is the Drops Loves You. It's in the shade, what shade is this? 11. It's a really nice dark purple. I use this for my heart lacy top, which I have a tutorial for on my page. I will link it in the description in case you want to check that out. But it's a really beautiful fine yarn. All of these are fine weight cotton yarns. They're all 100% cotton. And yeah, I really love working with this yarn. I think the Drops You is a really nice range. It's really soft. I find sometimes cottons can be a little bit, not scratchy, but like a little bit tough almost. But this is really nice and soft, and it blocks absolutely beautifully. So this is a really nice dark purple. That's color number 1. We have this like dark kind of petrol-y blue, which is left over from my Diamond in the Rough cardigan, which I made relatively recently. If you want to catch the vlog for that, I will link it in the description as well as the pattern. But it's a really beautiful kind of dark tealy sort of blue, which I think is really, really nice. We then have this kind of light grey, and if you know me, you know that I don't wear grey. I truly don't know what possessed me to buy this yarn, and I have had this in my stash for so fucking long. I crocheted myself a t-shirt with this grey yarn probably in the first year of me crocheting, maybe the first year and a half, like the first summer that I was crocheting. I crocheted myself a t-shirt. It was from Chender DIY. I made it really, really short, so I think I've worn it like once, but I used grey and I bought grey. I don't think I bought the grey specifically for the t-shirt. That's just what I used it for, and I have a bunch of it left over. I think I've got like more than this. Obviously all this yarn, by the way, this is just like samples of what I have. This is not like the entirety of the colours that I've got. I don't wear grey. I don't gravitate towards grey. I don't actually really like grey for me personally. It kind of reminds me of school, because a lot of the time with school uniforms we had to wear grey trousers, or like grey trousers was like one of the options of colours that you could wear. I just don't fuck with grey. Like looking at it, I'm like, this is such a sad colour. And obviously this is no shade to anyone who likes grey and who wears grey. Like, this is just how I feel about it and how I feel about the colour. It's just a very sad colour to me, and I don't think I will ever wear grey if it's like on its own. If I am to be wearing grey, I've either been coerced into it, or I'm wearing it with like a bright colour, or I'm like incorporating it into another bright colour palette. So that's how I feel about grey. I do really want to utilise this yarn though, because I do think it'll be perfect for a Wave Hello top, and just because I have it, you know, and it's one of those things where it's not awful, it's not disgusting, it's a good, nice quality yarn, and I think I can create a nice fun colour palette with it. It's just that I don't reach for it because I don't fuck with grey in that way. So that's my thoughts, that's my feelings. Next we have this kind of like berry, pinky purple. It's not even a purple, it's more of a, I don't know how to describe it. It is a berry. It's more of like a pink toned purple, you know, like this is a very true purple. This is like a berry reddish toned, pink toned purple, if that makes sense. But yeah, I absolutely love this color. This color and this color used to be a wavy top that I made, I think in like the first year and a half of me crocheting. It didn't turn out very well. The fit wasn't very good. I didn't have enough yarn to do what I wanted to do. This was kind of like the prototype actually of the Wave Hello top. I'll see if I can find a picture of it, because it's, I mean, it's interesting, but I did like vertical waves basically. Yeah, it was, I feel like it was like the prototype of the Wave Hello top, but I didn't know it was a prototype, if that makes sense. But yeah, I really love this color. I think it's really nice. I don't have a huge amount of this yarn, but I think, yeah, I absolutely love the color. It's kind of got like, you know, like when a yarn color is like heathered, I think is the term for it, but it's really, really nice. I really like this, and I think it goes well with a lot of stuff that I have in my wardrobe. And then the final color is this kind of like goldy yellow, slight mustard sort of tone. I really like this. I think it's a really beautiful shade. Like I said, these two colors were together in an old top, so that's where this yarn has kind of come from. It's a really nice color. I think it's something that I would be able to implement into my wardrobe pretty easily, but depending on what I pair it with. Kind of more yellow toned, so it's more goldy in person. I don't know if it's kind of translating very well on camera, but yeah, it's, I'd say it's pretty accurate actually. But yeah, it's a nice kind of goldy yellow, mustardy sort of vibe, mustard tones to it, but not as deep, not as orange. It's more on the yellow side. But yeah, I also really, really like this color as well. So yeah, that's all of the colors that I am currently working with, and now I've got to decide how the fuck to put this all together. I'm thinking, okay, so what I'm thinking is I really would like to incorporate the grey. So I think the grey is a good place to start, and I'll just kind of like, you know, bring in other colors. I don't think I like these two together. This is nice together. I like that. Maybe with the blue. I think that's a cute color combination. How about with the purple? Are these two colors quite, I think they're a bit too similar to each other. You know, they're kind of the same family. They're like cousins. So maybe if we do this, that's cute. I like the darkness of the purple. I feel like it kind of makes the grey, it kind of brings the darker tones out of the grey and makes it less light in that sense. Maybe with the blue, that's really nice. Yeah, I really like that. Maybe with the yellow as well. No, that kind of throws, no, I don't like that. That kind of throws it off. Let's see how I feel about this. This is also cute, but I think I prefer this. Let's see what it looks like with this instead. No, the yellow's throwing off the grey, so I think I'm just going to move the yellowy gold out of the way, because I really don't think that that's going well with the grey, or I'm not liking how it looks with the grey at least. So I think and this was a no. I think I'd prefer, if I was to choose between these two as a pairing or these two as a pairing, I'm gonna choose this one. So let's move out of the way. So yeah, I think we found our color palette. I think we've got it, guys. I think this is it. So we've got the grey, the kind of tealy blue, darkish blue, and then the purple. Yes, this is a perfect color palette. I like this. Yes, I think this is good. Yeah, because you know, sometimes when you pick a color palette and you only like it in one particular order, or you only like it when like certain colors are like next to each other and stuff. I actually think these all look good no matter what order you're putting it in. Do you know what I mean? Like, it looks good wherever each color is placed, which I actually really like. So it means that when I'm doing the kind of continuation of the colors, it's not going to look too weird or off balance or anything. I'm thinking the gray first, because I actually have more of the grey, and like I said, I really want to utilize the grey for this top. So I kind of want the grey almost to be like not the main color, but maybe like the more accented color. So yeah, I'm thinking the grey first, and then the purple, and then the blue. So it will be like grey, purple, blue, and then grey, purple, blue, you know. I think that's nice. Yes, okay, great. So I found my color palette. Woohoo, successful. See, this is how easy it is to put together a color palette. I mean, I recently put up a video on like how I curate my color palettes and how I create like my kind of process. Obviously, like, that's not always going to happen, especially when I'm working with scrap yarn, but this is what I do. If I'm working with scrap yarn, this is exactly what I would do in that scenario. I'd literally get all of the colors that I have available in, you know, the size yarn that I have, figure out how much of each color I have, you know, and then just play around with it. Like, the thing is that I think sometimes when it comes to creating a color palette, some people get a little bit too in their head and they feel like there's so many rules. There are quite literally no fucking rules. You can do literally whatever the hell you want. And when it comes to color, like, it's such a personal and fun thing that, like, you have to find the fun in it. You have to find the creativity in it. And like, that process to me was fun. I don't know how other people do it, and obviously, like, I'm sure lots of people have different processes, but this process was fun for me. I enjoyed this. This is what I would do, and this is a fun, enjoyable process for me. It means that I'm utilizing a color that I don't reach for, I don't really wear, but I'm making it more me, you know, because this is a color I'd wear, this is a color I'd wear these two together, but let's incorporate a new thing and a new color that I'm not really drawn to, but that I have available. And like, I don't hate it. I'm not like completely against it. I'm open to having this color in my wardrobe. And that's how I came up with this, which is not like a life-changing color combo, you know. I'm not like, you know, in reinventing the wheel here, but it's fun. It's still fun. It still speaks to me. It's still something I would wear, but it's incorporating something new. It's incorporating something I love. It's incorporating a color pairing that I love. This is just I suppose an encouragement to try and be a little bit more creative and try and have a bit more fun with crochet. Like, there are literally no rules. I think sometimes, especially with some of the tutorials that I've put out, some people get a little bit in their head being like, oh, but I'm not doing it right. Like, it doesn't matter. It actually doesn't matter. If you're like not doing it correctly, quote unquote correctly, like, doesn't matter. it genuinely doesn't, because worst comes to worst, if it's like you really fucked up, you can just undo the stitches. It's really not the end of the world. So try and have fun with crochet, play with it. It's a craft, it's an art form. That's my advice. Anyway, this is my color palette. Let's fucking go. I'm still working on my front panel, and I just went to go measure it against my other one. It's very handy that I've already got one that exists, so I can kind of like just use that as my gauge essentially, rather than having to like stand up and measure against my body. Because as well, like, Obviously with like my bust and stuff, sometimes it's a bit harder to tell whether something's actually like the right length or the right height, sorry. If you're busty as well, you've probably had it where you thought something is the correct height and it's actually not, because it has to go over your tits. But it's going really, really good. I am actually really loving these colors together. Like I said, gray is just really not something, or not a color that I gravitate towards, particularly like this kind of shade of gray. Like if I do wear gray, it's probably like a charcoal, it's probably like a kind of really deep slate gray. This is just like not something I ever gravitate towards. I really don't know why I own this gray, and I don't know why I bought grey in the first place, but whatever. I think this colour palette is working out real nice. I really like the fact that I went for like different amounts of the waves for each colour, and I think because I'm using scrappy amounts of the yarn and I don't have the exact same amounts of each colour yarn, this is kind of like working really well for me. And yeah, I think it looks really, really good. I'm really loving it so far. And yeah, I've started my decreases, and I just went to go measure it against my other top, because obviously where this is like a fine yarn and I've only made this top in like an Aran weight yarn, I wasn't sure if I was gonna have enough space to decrease basically and get to the point of the decreases that I would like. I think I will, because in my mind I'm like, obviously with an Aran yarn I'm decreasing, but the yarn is thicker, meaning that each decrease or each row that I decrease on is like quite an obvious decrease, whereas like I've been doing my decreases for what, 1 2 3 4 5 rows, and it's not particularly like sharp, you know, it's not like a particularly steep decrease, which isn't a bad thing, but I think I just kind of was a bit like, let me just double check. I think these colors look really good together. I think I've put together a really good color palette, considering like these are just this gray is just not my color. But yeah, I'm loving it. I think it looks so fun. And as well with the waves, there's not really like any rhyme or reason to the kind of amounts that I've chose. I'm still doing gray, purple, blue, grey, purple, blue, but like I'm just doing the rows sporadically, which is actually really fun, because I can just kind of like see how it's all forming together and then just be like, okay, like I'm gonna do this amount today, or I'm gonna do this amount for this row. But yeah, it's looking really, really good. I like it. Okay, front panel is finished. I am loving how this looks. So I basically measured it against my other Wave Hello top, and I decided to make this one a little bit higher because I wanted the kind of top of the neckline to be a little bit more narrow. On my other one, let me show you. Where is it? Oh, it's down here. On my other one, the top of the neckline is like still pretty wide, which I still like, but I wanted one that kind of just looks a little bit different. You can kind of see like when it sits against me, yeah, it sits pretty wide, but with this one I decided to finish it off a little bit more narrow, so it just kind of has that like sharp, more sharp angle basically. But yeah, I really love how it's looking so far, and now what I'm going to do is make the back panel, connect them, do the straps, do the ruffles, that's it. So this works out really, really nice and quickly, considering as well I'm using like quite a fine yarn. Taken no time at all. I think it's done, I've done this in like 2 evenings, and I wasn't even like particularly rushed to do it, so like a few hours each evening, maybe like 4 hours so far. So yeah, it's looking really, really good. I love the color combo. I'm so impressed with the colors, you know, like even just kind of holding it against myself. Maybe I should wear grey more often, but I don't know, like just grey just doesn't speak to me, but like in this color palette I'm really, really enjoying it. So yeah, maybe I need to incorporate some like more neutral colors into my kind of more fun color palettes, because I really just don't do that. Which isn't a bad thing, but yeah, it's just something that I've kind of noticed. It looks really good. I have nothing more to say other than it looks really good. It's worked up nice and quickly. So now all I have to do is the back panel, and which is considerably less than the front panel, so I don't think this is going to take me any time at all. And then yeah, just assembly and the straps. So this is a really nice like quick summer project, because it's still really, really hot. Obviously we are in summer, you can probably hear the fan going, and I would like some more casual throw on, you know, just like it's hot, let me put a top on sort of crochet tops. And I feel like as much as I love my my first one, and I wear this a lot, I do feel, because obviously it's a thicker yarn, it does feel a little bit heavier on me. So I feel like going for a light cotton yarn is actually gonna encourage me to wear this when it's like actually hot out. Also, look at my cute dress. This is a dress that I crocheted for myself last year, and I have a tutorial on how to do these really cute squares on my channel. If you just go to my tutorials playlist, you can find it there. I'll also link it in the description. But yeah, this is a really cute dress. I've not worn it in ages because obviously like it's a summer dress, but this is the first time I'm wearing it in the summer because basically the strap's like really stretched out, which is kind of inevitable. Like I kind of did my best on not that being the case, but I basically just folded it over and then sewed the top of the strap just so it kind of like, you know, cinched it up a little bit, because I was gonna like unpick it and then like redo the straps, and I was like, I just don't care and I cannot be bothered, so I just sewed it up. And then it means that if the straps stretch out again, I can then just unpick it and then just like fold it over even more. So yeah, it works well for me. But it's a really, really cute dress. Let me show you like the bottom without flashing you. But yeah, it's got this like lacy kind of pattern at the bottom with this like cute little border. Yeah, I love it. Let me actually show you properly. Yeah, I think this is so nice. But yes, I'm going to go work on my back panel now, which I really just don't think is going to take me any time at all. So I reckon like in the next couple of, like I've got plans today, but in the next couple of days I'll probably have this finished, you know. I finished off my back panel. My front panel is done. All I've got to do is seam them up, add the straps, add the ruffles, and I'm finished. I reckon I'll probably be done by the end of this evening because I'm home alone. My partner's gone to go see Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick Lamar? Is that his name? Why does it sound really weird saying his full name? His full government name. He's going to see Kendrick and SZA. That is Kendrick Lamar, right? Why does that sound so strange? Anyway, he's gone to go see him and he'll be gone for the evening. So I have the whole evening to crochet. And yeah, I reckon I'll finish it by the end of the day. I'm really looking forward to being able to wear this. I also, as I was kind of like holding it up to my body, I actually kind of like the tighter fit, like the more fitted fit. So I'm not sure if I will block it right away. Obviously I'll see how it actually fits on my body, but I think I might maybe keep it as like a fitted version first if I do like the fit, and then obviously I can block it afterwards. But in terms of like drape, I don't think it really like needs a block. Obviously I will like give it a wash and stuff, but yeah, it's looking really good. This pattern's been super simple, very easy to follow, worked up real nice and quick as well. I really love doing the wavy stitch. I feel like it works up so fast and it's like a really nice, like you find like a really nice rhythm to it, so it's quite easy to like bash it out quite quick without even kind of realizing that that's what you're doing. But yeah, it's going really well and I'm looking forward to having this finished. I'm actually so impressed with the fact that I like the grey. I think I've chosen a really great color palette. I think I've done a very good job. I'm basically having like a bit of a crisis of confidence and I'm gonna have a little vent, okay? Just prepare yourselves. It's not really a vent, more of a, I don't know, and share my thoughts and my feelings and whatever's going on in my brain, because I don't know what's happening lately, but lately I've been doing this thing where I've been like really comparing myself to other people on the internet, particularly other like crochet content creators and crochet designers, and like I low-key feel like people don't like me. if I'm being so real, and like I'm being very vulnerable right now, I'm just gonna say what's in my brain, and I'm sure by the time this video comes out I would have, like, you know, talked it through with my partner and gotten over myself. But at the moment I'm like, I don't think people like me. I don't think people like me. I don't know why. I feel like when I kind of look at other crochet designers and content creators, and even just like generally other content creators, like I don't know, I just feel like there's more of a sense of like, you know, community and camaraderie, and like they're having that social aspect to it, and I think maybe that's something that I'm lacking on a little bit on my social media pages, is that I'm not getting the social interaction, and I don't feel like I'm getting anything back, you know. And like, as much as I love posting, and I love posting on here, I love posting on TikTok, I love interacting with people, for me the reason why I post on social media is so I can interact with like-minded people who enjoy the thing that I'm talking about, like crochet, who are maybe similar to me, where they're maybe South Asian or a person of color or neurodivergent or queer, you know, they kind of like resonate with me in some way. And I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like I'm missing the social aspect of social media a little bit, and where I have obviously been posting a lot more regularly, particularly on YouTube and on TikTok and stuff, I just don't feel like I'm getting that kind of like social interaction as much anymore. I think I was quite a lot on TikTok, but then like my views are just like fucking plummeted on TikTok, and it's almost like I'm putting something out and I'm not receiving anything back. And although no one is entitled to give me anything back, I'm not, you know, not saying that at all, but I feel a little bit empty in that sense, you know. I feel like my cup has runneth dry in that sense, and not in like a bad way, not in like a burnout way, not in a way that I'm kind of like, I don't want to do this anymore, because I still enjoy it. I still enjoy the vlogging process, I still enjoy the editing process, I still enjoy, you know, posting regularly, that sort of thing. I don't know, I'm just feeling a bit like alone, you know. I think that's maybe it. Like, I'm just feeling a little bit lonely. I feel like nobody really talks to me, you know. And like, when people do talk to me, it's like they're being fatphobic, or they're being racist, or they're trying to fight me on things, they're trying to give me unsolicited advice. I'm like, I just want to have a conversation. I think what is making it kind of worse is that I'm looking at other content creators and other crochet designers, and like, I see that they have that sense of community, and they have this like popularity in that sense, and like I don't want to be popular, okay. And I know that it's not healthy and it's not good for me to essentially compare myself to other people, because everyone's on their own journeys and blah blah blah. I'm aware, I know. This is just what's going on in my brain, and I see other content creators who create these garments and create pieces that are lovely and they're great and they're nice, and I'm like, okay, so either means people don't like me, or my designs and what I make people don't like, or like are shit ultimately. And I think that's kind of like, it's just bumming me out. It's bumming me out. I don't know how else to say it. Like, I think me looking at other content creators and other designers is really not good for me at the moment, because even just having like a quick scroll through Instagram and stuff, or like I'm uploading a reel on Instagram and it will kind of show me like other reels and stuff, and like I see other content creators and I'm like, oh okay, like and don't get me wrong, I'm not being like other designers and other content creators are shit. That's not what I'm saying. It's more that I'm like, well, I think my content and my designs are just as good, you know, we're on the same level here. But I'm like, why am I not as popular? You know, why do people not like my things? Why do my Instagram reels get 0 views, you know? And obviously I realize like part of it's like an algorithm issue, blah blah blah, but like, yeah, I feel like I'm feeling a bit like defeated, and I feel like I'm not really getting any kind of like return on the work that I'm putting in. And I know that's obviously not the whole point of social media, but when I say return, I don't mean like a physical monetary return, I mean like a social engagement, because that's personally why I like to post on social media, is so I have that like social social interaction. And like I used to have that on TikTok, but like since my videos, if you saw one of my like recent crochet day vlogs when I was kind of talking about it, like since I monetized my page and I hit 10k followers, my reach on all of my videos has fucking plummeted. Like it's gone down. So I'm lucky if I get like 500 views on a video, and people don't really interact with me as much anymore on TikTok. And like I used to have that space on TikTok where I had like, you know, regular people who would see my content and interact with me, and I'd have conversations with them and stuff like that. But like I'm just not getting that. It's making me feel lonely, if I'm being so real. I feel like particularly on YouTube, nobody really comments on my stuff, which is fine, you know, don't ever feel forced to comment on my stuff. But like, yeah, I think sometimes I'm like, oh, like I would like to have a conversation. I would like it if people engaged with me. And then part of me is like, okay, well there must be a reason why people aren't engaging with me, which must mean that I'm unlikable. Either I myself and am unlikable, or my designs and the things I'm making, the things I'm sharing in the video are unlikable. And I think I'm kind of like, not like taking it to heart, but like it's upsetting me and my homegirls, and I'm my homegirl. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if any of this makes sense. I don't know if any of this is coherent, but that's just kind of how I'm feeling. My thoughts are my feelings. I try my hardest not to like fucking compare myself to random people on the internet, because it's just very hard to do that though, because like it is, you do see other people and you're kind of like, and I am kind of like, well, I feel like my designs are as good as theirs. I feel like my content is as good as theirs. I feel like, you know, I post regularly. I'm doing all of the correct things, but like I'm not at the same place. And it's like, I'm not being like, oh, I want millions of followers and I want to be like TikTok famous. I'm not saying that at all, but it's more just that I would like to have some sense of community, I think, and I would like to have some sense of social interaction from me posting on social media. And I don't know if it's maybe because, especially with content creators and stuff, and like it's something that I've always found a little bit odd, like on TikTok specifically, is that you'll see like, you know, hundreds and hundreds of comments, and like the creators themselves like don't respond to any of them. And like I personally find that so odd. Like that's such an odd concept to me. Like I can't imagine somebody like paying me a compliment or commenting on my things and me not wanting to have that social interaction. Obviously, like I know people post on social media for their own reasons, blah 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 blah. For me personally, it's the social interaction, and I have always been like that, you know. Like I'm fucking old. I've been on the internet a long time, and no matter what platform I've been on, I've always been seeking that social interaction with people. I think particularly maybe on TikTok is that people will maybe see my post and think that like I don't want to engage with them, or maybe I don't want to have a conversation with them and stuff like that. And like it's one of those things where obviously like I've put boundaries in place before where I'm like, please don't give me unsolicited advice, please don't, you know, like be fat phobic or racist, or like let's use our fucking brains, you know, like don't ask me for the pattern when the pattern's in the caption. But it's like, you can pay me a compliment, or like you can talk to me, you know, just have a conversation with me. Like we're allowed to do that on social media, particularly on TikTok, but I just feel like it's not really, that's just not really happening much anymore, and it's making me sad. But yeah, ultimately like I'm fine. Like I am fine. I think the way that I'm viewing social media at the moment is like not great, and the way I'm viewing other people on social media at the moment, particularly other crochet designers and content creators, is like not good for me. Don't get me wrong, I know I'm a very divisive person. Like I'm not saying that I am like the best person in the world and like everyone has to like me and blah blah blah. It's one of those things where I'm like, if I see other content creators who I like, who I fuck with, who I vibe with, surely there's got to be people who feel the same way about me, you know? Like there's got to be other queer crocheters, neurodivergent, South Asian, people of color, even if you're not, even if you're just like, we have the same beliefs, we have the same morals sort of thing, there's got to be people out there who do like me, because like people do like me. Like I've got a partner, I've got my besties, I've got people who I do interact with like on social media and stuff. So I think because of it, I'm like, oh, this equals this means I'm unlikable. So I think that's like where my brain is going, because I'm trying to think logically. I'm trying to think like logically, why is this not working? Why is no one interacting? Why are my patterns not popular? Blah 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 blah. And so I'm trying to think logically, whereas there might actually just not be a fucking logical reason. It might just be like the algorithm sucks, or like people aren't seeing my posts, or like there might be some logical reason that's not, oh, you're a dick, you know. I presume by the time I post this video, like I will be fine, I will be okay. But I just, yeah, I sometimes feel the need to like voice my thoughts and my feelings out loud, because I am a verbal processor and my partner is not here right now for me to verbal process at. So you guys are getting the short end of the straw. But I will be okay. I will ultimately be fine. I'm going to stop comparing myself to strangers on the internet, and I'm just going to do what I enjoy doing and be myself and be true to myself as much as possible, and crochet the fun clothes that I have always crocheted for myself. So thank you for listening. I'm going to go and do my top like I said I was going to do. I have finished my piece. I've done my straps, my ruffles. I've been just weaving in some of the ends. So I've woven in most of them. I've got like a few left to do on this side. I'm also watching the new How to Train Your Dragon, the live action one. I'm enjoying it so far, but to be fair, like I enjoy the animated one, so I don't think that they can like fuck it up. Do you know what I mean? So that's how I feel about like all live actions really, like, unless they're kind of like completely changing the story. But yes, I kind of wanted to talk about what I was talking about the other day when it came to my recent feelings of like inadequacy and like just, yeah, feeling a little bit like I'm comparing myself to a lot of other people, that sort of thing. And I realized that it is imposter syndrome. I kind of was thinking about it, and then like I think I saw something from somebody else actually on social media, somebody who I follow, who's not like a crocheter, but they were talking about imposter syndrome, and I was like, oh, you know when you're just like light bulb. I was like, that's what I'm feeling. I really am feeling like I am not good at what I do, because I'm not, or I don't feel like I'm kind of getting like the external validation sort of thing. And obviously I know that like just because I'm not receiving external validation doesn't mean that I'm not good at what I do and I'm not talented in some way, but it fucking helps. You know, especially where obviously I only really post my stuff on social media, so if I'm not receiving those feelings of validation, then I'm like, oh, okay, well, it wasn't good enough. I was talking to my partner about it, and I was talking to my friends about it, and I feel a lot better for sure, but I still do feel this like, it's just like a low level anxiety that I can kind of feel like really deep in my chest. Like it's a very physical feeling for me, and I think like eventually I'll be fine. Like I will get over it basically, and like I'll be okay. But I'm very much somebody who like, my confidence has always come from like a place of like fake it till you make it sort of thing. From as far back as I remember, like I've never really had any sort of validation when it comes to like my physical confidence and like my confidence about my brain, about, you know, the way I look, blah blah blah. Always had to really like trick my brain into being confident, and like that is where my confidence comes from, is literally me essentially like lying to myself, you know, lying to myself until I believe it. That's kind of like where it's always come from. And like, whilst I don't feel any type of way about how I look, I think I'm hot, I think I'm beautiful, I think I'm sexy, like I think I'm now like in my brain I'm like, oh, I'm not smart enough, I'm not good enough, I'm not talented enough, I'm not skilled enough. It's all of those kind of things and those kind of feelings that are like cropping up at the moment, I think, which is exacerbated by this kind of like imposter syndrome that I feel. So yeah, I feel like because that's the way my brain works, and that's kind of where my confidence has always come from, is literally me tricking myself myself and like essentially like telling myself like, no, you're cool, you're cool, you're cool, you're cool, until I believe it. That's where I think like my brain is like struggling a little bit, because usually I do receive some form of like, obviously like I kind of trick my brain into believing it, but I do get that like external validation elsewhere, whether it's like from friends or my partner or like, you know, people on social media, that sort of thing. So I think that's where I'm kind of like faltering a little bit, like my brain is faltering a little bit, because I'm not getting that at the moment. And like, that's okay, that's obviously a me issue, and the thing is, I've always known it was a me issue. And like, even when I was talking about it before, like, I'm not like, I don't want anyone to think I'm like saying this because I'm like fishing for compliments, I'm fishing for attention or anything like that. I think if you've watched any of my other vlogs, you know that like I do talk about my thoughts and my feelings and like how my brain is doing, and like, you know, outside of crochet, like I do talk about more personal things like relatively often. And I just kind of, yeah, like I'm not fishing at all. Like I know that it's a me thing. I know it's like a me problem that like I kind of need to fix. I'm a verbal processor, and sometimes I feel the need to verbally process. Sometimes I feel like I like to share it on the internet, not only like for myself, but also so other people can kind of see how I'm feeling as well, and like and know that like, you know, I'm not all like happy rainbows and smiley faces all the time, but also in case like anyone else is like feeling this way. I think sometimes just having the solidarity of knowing that like you're not on your own when it comes to these kind of feelings can really make such a huge difference. So if you are one of those people, sorry about it. Like it's a fucking shit feeling, and it's really, really hard to like get yourself out of it. I'm in my 30s. This is not like my first rodeo when it comes to kind of feeling like this. I feel like it's just been such a long time since I felt like this. There is such an alien feeling for me. So, and it's in such a different way. Like usually for me it kind of crops up in like how I feel about my appearance and how I look and my body and like blah blah blah. Like I've always been pretty confident in like terms of my skills and my brain and how my brain works and like my smartness essentially. Another reason why I feel like I'm feeling this way as well is that like I've noticed recently that a lot of like the interactions that I am having on social media feel like, and I've said this before like on TikTok and stuff, but I have always wanted to form community with people on social media, particularly like in the crochet world and fiber arts world. And I feel like recently like I'm getting, and that's why I think I love posting on YouTube so much, because like I get to share a lot more about myself, and like, you know, outside of like just crochet, it's a little bit more, it feels a little bit more me. So I feel like another thing that I'm kind of struggling with at the moment is that obviously like the lack of interaction, but when I do get interaction, it feels really like extractive, and like I feel like the only reason people are talking to me is because they want a tutorial, they want a pattern, they're asking me questions about crochet, they're like, you know, they want something from me, and like I'm not feeling like my cup is being filled at the same time as it being drained, if that makes sense. The thing is that obviously like I know that that's like part of the process, I guess, of like sharing on social media, particularly when you're sharing like a skill or something that like people can learn from. And like I will always love the fact that people are comfortable enough to ask me questions. I will always love the fact that people are fans of the products that I make and the garments that I make, enough to the point where they want to part with their hard-earned money enough to like buy a pattern or support me in any way. And I'm very, very grateful for that. But sometimes I do feel like it would be nice to kind of have that support at the same time. I can't like give without being given to, if that makes sense. Like if somebody's constantly asking me for questions and asking me for help and asking me, extract, I need something back from that. And I'm not, and usually I think it's like balanced out quite well in that, like with the random people whose, you know, my videos popped up on their FYP and they've never followed me, they've never interacted with me, whatever, and they, you know, ask me a question about crochet, or they ask for help or advice or something, I usually like that's balanced out with the other sort of support and my, you know, regular followers and having conversations and having that social interaction. So like I don't feel as like spent, like, you know, emotionally spent sort of thing. And so at the moment that's not happening. Like I'm not really getting like the social interaction anymore. I'm only getting like the extractive questions, essentially the questions, the asking, that I need help, the do you have this, the blah blah blah, you know. And that's where I think I'm like getting tired. If you've ever commented a question or if you've ever done any of these things, this is not me like, you know, having a go at you or upset at you or anything like that. And I don't want this to like deter anyone from ever leaving me a comment or ever asking me a question. Obviously, like within reason, let's like use our brains first. So yes, that's kind of like how I've been feeling at the moment. And like I feel like, yeah, my cup runneth dry, and I am just like a bit, I think because of that and because of the feeling of extraction that I've been having lately, I've just been feeling like quite inadequate. I feel like I'm not like, essentially just not feeling like I'm like good enough. And like I know that's such a like cliche, silly thing to say, but that's how I've been feeling, man. And like I said, I'm not fishing for compliments. I'm not like saying, oh, everyone go buy my patterns, but like it's just the feelings of inadequacy that brings for me personally. And like I will work on it, and it's very much a me problem. It's not anything to do with anyone else. And again, I don't want this to deter anyone from like ever interacting with me, but that's just how I'm feeling. And it feels nice to be able to like say it out loud. It feels nice to be able to kind of verbalize it a little bit, because sometimes like all of the stuff that's swirling around in my head like never really makes sense. So like the fact that I'm able to kind of say it out loud and like make it like relatively coherent, let's hope, actually does make me feel a lot better. I'm still kind of like in that mode. I think I will be fine ultimately. I just need to kind of like have some time. I think like I need to have a little chat with my brain and maybe talk to like my friends and my partner and stuff. It's only a matter of time, and I am very much willing to like kind of put the work in to help myself feel better, essentially. That's my thoughts, that's my feelings. I only have like a few ends left to weave in, which is great news. And then hopefully I will be able to, I think I'm going to bung it in the washing machine before I do anything. I don't think I want to block it, just because I don't think it needs blocking. And I really like the fit of it being a little bit more fitted, especially like compared to my other one. It means that like I kind of get the best of both worlds. I have one that's a bit looser and one that's a bit more fitted. So yeah, not many ends to go. And thanks for listening to my rant, ramble, my warbling, whatever you want to refer to it as. And yeah. I think this has turned out so fucking cute. I actually think I might prefer this one to my original one, but I mean the vibe is just so different, the fit is just so different, and the color palette just like makes it feel like a completely different vibe, if that makes any sense. But I love this one. I think it's turned out so nice. I really love the color palette that I've put together. The fact that I've got grey in this and I really like the color palette is actually like really weirding me out, because I just don't, like I've said a million times, I just don't gravitate towards grey. I don't really have anything grey or like solely grey in my wardrobe, and I love it. I think it looks really cool. I love it with the purple and the blue. I feel like it's really complementary, like tonally, but also just like as a color palette as a whole. And I'm glad that I kind of like, you know, went out of my comfort zone a little bit and went with the grey as the border, because I was gonna do either the blue or the purple, but I was like, you know what, let me just like commit to the grey. And I think it looks really nice. I love the ruffles. I think it looks so fun with the rest of the piece. It looks really good. I'm actually kind of like a little bit surprised and like a little bit impressed that it turned out so nice. So in terms of like the differences of what I did with this version of my top compared to my other one, obviously I used like a considerably finer yarn. The other one was a Aran weight cotton, 100% cotton. It's the Drops Paris, and this one is like a fine weight cotton. Most of it is the Drops Loves You range, which is like, I think it's like a sport weight. I use a 3mm hook, and that's kind of like the main difference on why I feel like the kind of cut of it is actually quite different looking. It also meant that the waves, each row of a wave was like considerably smaller, so I got to kind of like play around with using different amounts of each color, which I just think adds like a little extra touch of fun to the whole piece. And then also I made it a little bit more cropped, but the main difference is that I did my decreases for longer, so you can tell that this neckline is like considerably higher than my other one. I think my other one sits like just kind of like at my collarbones. This one I wanted to be a little bit higher, and I did more of like a sharper decrease, or I started decreasing earlier, which is like one of the main differences compared to my first one. And so you can kind of see that it gives like a nice, really like sharp incline, and you kind of get that like, you know, narrow neckline compared to my original one. Also, because of the fact that I started my decreases earlier, it means that my back panel is actually like considerably shorter, like it's considerably smaller. And so if you are going to make your own Wave Hello top and you are going to be doing maybe something similar, or you think maybe that your back panel looks quite short, the best thing to do is that obviously once you've connected your panels and you are measuring to do your straps, measure it to like a bra top or a bra that you've got on. Because personally for me, like, I still want to be able to wear my bra top, I still want to be able to wear something underneath for like coverage wise and also like support for the girls. But for me personally, I literally put the top on, I held my measuring tape here, and then I just measured until I got to the top band of where my bra top is, and then that basically meant that I'm pulling up this back panel so it's not super low, because if I was to just leave it as it is, the back panel would sit considerably lower and it wouldn't actually cover like any of my bra tops. So if you're, even if you're making like any crochet top that involves like straps like this, that's just like a tip from me, because that's just like how you get it to be a little bit more wearable. I think a lot of the time like smaller crochet tops or crochet crop tops and stuff are often like bralettes and stuff like that, and sometimes you want to be able to wear a bra, sometimes you want to be able to wear something underneath. So yeah, if you have that issue also, that is a little tip from me. But yeah, I think it's turned out really, really good. I absolutely love it with this skirt. I think it looks so nice. Like, this whole outfit is really cute. But yeah, hopefully this has kind of like highlighted the Wave Hello top in a different way, and just kind of like shown that you can do so much with it, not only with the color palette but your yarn choice, your like choice of fit as well. Like the world is truly your oyster with pretty much any crochet pattern. Like, I think sometimes it's easy to just see it as what the designer has, you know, advertised it as, but you can really just do whatever the hell you want. Like, you can even just use it as a template to create your own kind of fit. But yeah, I absolutely love how this Wave Hello top has turned out. If you enjoy crochet content, then please consider subscribing to my channel, give this video a little like, and leave me a comment to let me know what you think. I would also love to connect with you, so if you're not following me on TikTok and on Instagram already, you can find my @ in the description, or you can find me at Not Half Bad Crochet. Thanks so much for hanging out with me while I crocheted the Wave Hello top, and I'll hopefully see you in the next one.